Today's video is a quick update across the Unusable Engineering lineup. There are a couple of practical improvements for all plugins, 2 new features in curves and membranes, and a small gift for some of you who already bought one of the bigger bundles. If you want the full update list, that is already in the newsletter and in a news post on unusable.net. So, let's keep this to the parts worth showing. First, something that applies to all plugins. We do now have a resizable UI in both VST and AU. Also, command click, option click and double click resets the value to default for any slider or knob in the interface. Apparently that is supposed to be a standard behavior, except not really, because everyone is doing it a bit differently from each other, so I implemented all 3 ways. That should make the plugins a bit nicer to live with, regardless of which habit is yours. Now for curves and membranes. The first new thing is a very simple preset system. I was a bit inspired by one of my favorite synths, the Moog Muse, where you can press a button to randomize a patch name. So I stole that part. So, the workflow is very simple. You randomize a name, press save, and then step back and forth between presets with the arrow buttons. That's about it. The preset files are stored in a folder inside your Documents folder, so if you want to rename or delete them, that is done manually in Finder. It is the smallest and simplest solution I could come up with, while keeping it as unobtrusive and menu-free as possible. The second new feature is Well Mode. While curves and membranes already react to velocity, it does so in kind of a weak way. Well Mode is for when you want more obvious and expressive reaction. With Well Mode enabled, the envelope responds more strongly to velocity, and the filter nodes also move with incoming velocity, both vertically and horizontally. So the filter becomes more animated and more physically active while you play. It's a nice way to get more lively and responsive patches. But, a word of warning, it does make the node grabbing while a sequence is running into quite an art form. And then, there's the matter of the small gift. If you already bought the full suit or the scientific bundle, a new plugin called Grain Discharge is already available through your account recovery page. It will be the next official single plugin release from Unusable Engineering, and it will be included in both those bundles. When it's officially released, it will bump the prices of those bundles with €10 each. If you're watching this before Monday, the 18th of May, you can still get it with the bundle for the old price. If you're watching this later, the new prices are already in effect, and Grain Discharge is of course included in the bundles too. So, what is Grain Discharge? It all started with the idea of reusing the fluid simulation from Cavitation Fractures, but try to use it for something more musical. The obvious direction was to turn it into a granular or grain cloud effect, with the same audio-reactive simulation model driving the behavior. Most of the work has actually been in tuning that into something that both feels surprising and musical, while still keeping the visual side tied closely to the sound. Just like with some of the other plugins in the scientific series, the simulation is not just there to look interesting, it is part of what makes the audio behave like it does. It is a bit quirky, it is CPU hungry, and it's extremely fun to just sit and tweak it. The updates and Grain Discharge, for those of you who are entitled to it, is available already on your account recovery page. And if you want a full list of changes, check out the news post on unusable.net. Thanks for all your support, and thanks for watching.